I have this thing that I've been thinking about, and I would like to talk to you about it.
Okay, what's that?
It's about organizations and whether or not they can be intelligent.
Right.
We look upon organizations when they do things
Yeah.
as if the organization itself is acting. Like, you can see like headlines in newspapers, and you would say that this organization did that or that, and then you would judge it as if that was a good or a bad thing, as if it was intelligent or not.
Are organizations really built to do intelligent things or not?
That's interesting.
The type of organizations we have today, when they were formed originally, they were formed to produce things, right? Was the Industrial Revolution and so on. And they were basically built as sort of, you could say, as machines themselves, right? To do a lot of things, a lot of the same thing over and over again, really. And if you look upon it that way, that's not really intelligence. It's doing the same thing over and over again.
That's more economies of scale. The new organizations, they would be more like, I see them more as a brain, sort of, with lots of specialists in a big network of people that are trying to cooperate, and they need to cooperate in every given moment to be able to create whatever they're supposed to be creating.
You plan an organization, you create it, and you have all these people, and they're supposed to do different roles, and they have all different departments and all that stuff. And that's planned for something, right, to do this. But then things start happening. It means that all these people within the organization suddenly needs to, put this machinery together in a new way to solve this specific problem that happened, right? Which points us to, people actually on an everyday basis in a certain situation getting together, calling each other or, whatever, and then sort of cooperate in a moment, right? That's something we call the microsystem. Intelligence in organizations is created through these microsystems, right? So what is a microsystem?
Exactly. Yeah. It's a bunch of individuals cooperating.
In a certain situation,
in a certain
there
situation.
and then,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
It's today, at this hour, now we're doing this, or we are not doing that, right? So it's nothing you can save or prepare.
So basically you could say then that intelligence in the organizations is created in each microsystem and how that microsystem chooses to act. So if each microsystem is intelligent and you have lots of microsystems being intelligent in one organization, then that organization will be intelligent.
Exactly.
Yeah. But today, when the world is much more complex, that's not an organization that will work or a way of working. Now we need intelligence.
Still, but you could say, maybe we should put it this way, because people have been intelligent always.
Of course.
And acting intelligently. But if we had sort of...
But that's people, not organizations.
Yeah, the main problem for the organization was economy of scale. Now the dynamics and the complexity is increasing, which means that a larger part of the organization actually needs to be self-organizing according to unexpected events.
Exactly.
That's the way to put it, right?
Yeah.
We're going to have to be much more adaptable even in these big hierarchical traditional organizations. And that's why these microsystems become interesting, because that's where people can take this pre-planned organization but adopt it to what happens, right? That means we're going to be quite interested in that in the coming years. How do they work? How do microsystems work? But also, how does intelligence work? What makes them intelligent and what is intelligence? So we want to define intelligence, right? But here's a little issue, because no one has really been able to define intelligence in a way that everybody accepts.
The problem setting is the cue to defining whether something is intelligent or not.
You need a problem setting to relate the action to, and it's that combination that then we would say, oh, that was intelligent or not. So the problem setting is really interesting thing here to look at,
So I want to have dinner. I want to have these sausages, but I cannot get into the can. It just happens that I don't have a can opener. So what sort of solution would I then be looking for? You know, do you have any ideas?
But how about a little morakniv?
A little morakniv. I could use that. Yeah, sure.
We have other problem solutions here, actually.
An axe. Obviously, we have an axe here on the set. Yes, I could use either one of these two to get into this can. But this solution is only logical if we think about the problem in the way we just did, as opening the can. But if we take it one step back, if we redefine the problem again, it was actually about me being hungry. I wanted dinner, right? So I could, I could solve the problem, Lotta being hungry, in thousands of ways. The first logical way before using an axe to open the can would probably be to make something else. So I would go to my refrigerator and see if I can make something else for dinner. And if I want...
the problem setting would be cooking dinner.
Exactly. Exactly. So instead of opening the can.
And the can becomes more or less irrelevant, right? Because now you could, make a sandwich or whatever.
And you could redefine the problem once again. And then you would start talking about, so if I want to have dinner, I don't even have to make it myself. I can have dinner in some other way. I could order home pizza, for example. And that would also be a solution to my problem. But which solution, the solution that I choose, if it's the axe or if it's making dinner or ordering home pizza, it all depends on how I define the problem. Is it opening the can?
And as you can see, these different problem settings, opening can, etc., they point to totally different solutions.
Exactly.
But it's still the same situation.
Exactly.
So you're just resetting the problem, right? And this is how the brain works.
And I have to tell you, I've been in this situation so many times. I think all you can recognize this. You're in a meeting with someone at your company, and you find yourself discussing a problem, and someone starts saying something that you feel like, I totally don't get what that person is talking about. And most of the time, that person has started talking about a solution, but you have not agreed on the problem before. So you're actually thinking about a completely different problem setting than that person is doing.
Happens all the time. And the more complex things you do, then of course these problem settings become more complex as well.
So, to wrap this up, we've been talking about whether or not organizations can be intelligent or not, and we decided that they can. And the second thing we spoke about was that what decides if the organizations are intelligent or not is actually the microsystems and how they choose to adapt to the plan and the current situation. Right. And then the third point that we tried to make here is that what the microsystems do, if that is intelligent or not, depends on the problem definition or the problem setting. That's the example with the sausages and everything.
And that's also something that's very obvious when you study microsystems or you study teams, right? That those that are high performing, actually you can see that they spend much more time talking about their problem setting. And you can even measure that. So you could say that, well, at least in one study, the high-performing teams spend 2,300% more time discussing the problem setting than the low-performing teams, which means that somewhere in there is the key to intelligence.
So that's a really interesting question. Yes, now I'm very hungry.